Hello everyone, my name is Tim and I'll be displaying iPhone accessibility features for the visually impaired. So the first accessibility feature is bold and enlarged font. So most people with a vision impairment will benefit from a bolder and enlarged font as it appears easier to see when it's bold, and when it's larger, it is also easier to see. So any text on iOS will appear bolder when you turn the setting on. So for example, Instagram, your app display, and Facebook, etc. All that will appear bolder, and most fonts will enlarge depending on the UI. So text messages, settings, notes, emails, just things related to iOS will appear enlarged for this setting. Here's the demonstration video. So for bold text and enlarged font for iPhone accessibility, it's really good for the visually impaired because it makes any letters pop out more and it bolds it, or you could also enlarge it and change the size of it. And the way you navigate to it is you're going to open settings, and then you're going to go to the search bar, and all you're going to search is bold text. And as you can see, this little slider should pop up saying bold text, and I'm going to make sure I enable it. And as you can see, all the text now is bolded. Now, if I want to enlarge it and change it to any size I want, I'm going to search text size on the search bar. And text size will appear under display and brightness, and a slider will appear. And you can make it as big as you want it or as small as you want it. You can mess around with it. And if you slide it up to here, this is how big the text will appear. And this applies to other apps such as iMessage, Notes app, and same thing, just the settings app, everything's bold and enlarged. So the next feature is increased contrast, and with increased contrast, it makes text and images stand out from the background. And most of the low vision community would report that text is more visible with high contrast. So for the visually impaired, it is a lot easier for when the background contrasts well from the target object. So the target object could be a lighter image while the background is dark, which makes the lighter image easier to see. And here's a demonstration video. So for increased contrast, you're going to navigate over to settings, and then you're just going to search contrast on the search bar, and you should see increased contrast under accessibility. And for increased contrast, there's another little slider. You could turn it on and off. I'm not sure if you'll be able to tell the difference on webcam. This is it's off. And this is on. So it's a little hard to tell, but so I'm gonna turn it off and show you what my text messages look like. So this is with no contrast. This is what the blue looks like. But when I turn increased contrast on, my text bubbles appear darker. So the light white text contrasts better from the darker background. The next feature I'm going to be showing is the triple tap feature. So people with a vision impairment can enlarge anything on their screen with triple tap. So not every app can be enlarged with the font setting. So some UI just doesn't let you enlarge everything. And this could be useful for navigating icons as well, which I will be demonstrating in the video. And you can adjust the zoom levels however the visually impaired person would like. Here's a demo. So for triple tap, you're going to navigate to settings and then go to the search bar, and all you're going to do is search zoom. And then once you search zoom, you will see under accessibility, and then here's the zoom tab. You're just going to turn this slider on. So how this triple tap zoom works is you're just going to tap 3 times, or use 3 fingers to tap it twice. So 3 fingers, then tap twice. So 1, 2 with 3 fingers, and see it enlarges. And obviously, I might have to use 3 fingers if I want to move it around to read any small text. And this is great for using interfaces that don't allow enlarge or bold text like the ones I mentioned before. So iMessage works with it with enlarge and bold text, emails work, but let's say I want to edit this photo, but I'm not able to read or see the symbols here. So what I can do is I could just triple tap to navigate the little icons. And if I want to edit the photo, I will triple tap and look for the edit option, which is right here. Edit, and then this may seem pretty confusing to a visually impaired person because it is really small. So a visually impaired person could triple tap and just look around, and see what these options are. Yeah. Now we have the speak selection feature. So for the low vision community, when they prefer audio for when their eyes get fatigued or when they're reading anything longer, this is a great alternative for voiceover because the voiceover setting reads everything. And if you don't want everything to be read on your phone that is being touched, this is a great option. And yeah, this is great for long paragraphs. So for example, emails and longer text messages. Here's a demo. So for the speak selection feature, I'm going to navigate over to settings, go to search bar, and just search speak selection. And it should be under accessibility. And the slider should appear. And you're just going to make sure this is turned on, speak selection. So this is great for reading longer paragraphs and emails such as this. Because for the visually impaired, zooming in this entire email going to take a long time and it might be straining to the eyes. I have to repeat that as far as going all the way down. So instead, with speak selection, I'm going to hold down the screen on a word and it'll highlight this, and I'm going to press select all so that all of it's highlighted. And once I press select all, this menu should open up and it says speak right here. I'm going to click on speak.
To announce that we are hosting our second annual online symposium on multilingual learners with 6 on May 16th from 9 to 1 p.m. PST. We had such a great response last year that we will be hosting another one this year with UMass Boston.
And it should read out the entire email. And yeah. So with the speak screen, lastly, is a accessibility feature, and this is good for the low vision community when they prefer audio, when their eyes are fatigued. And again, this is a great alternative for voiceover when the user does not want everything to be read out. And this is a great pair with the select text to speak feature because not every text could be selected and spoken. So, for example, Instagram comments is an interface where you can't select text for it to be spoken. So, Speak Screen is a great alternative for that. And here's a demo.
Lastly, we have speak screen.
So lastly, we have speak screen, and for speak screen, you're going to go to settings, search bar, and just search speak screen.
Again.
It should be under accessibility again. And this time is going to be the second tab right here for speak screen, and you're going to enable it. So the way it works, you're going to swipe down with 2 fingers at the top of the screen, and it'll start to read everything to you.
2 fingers.
So 2 fingers. Swipe down on top of the screen.
Speak selection on. A speak button will appear when you select text. Speak screen on. Swipe down with 2 fingers from the top of the screen to hear the
So
voice.
this works. I'll turn the volume down while I explain.
There is this
little menu on the side that'll pop up, and you could adjust how fast the speaking rate's going to be, and you could also select where you want. You can always also pause, fast forward. So this is really good for things that speak selection doesn't work. So let's say I try holding. Let's say I go to Instagram. I want to read this comment right here. So if I hold down on the word that I want to read to select all, it doesn't give me an option. It gives me these options, but none of them say speak. So instead, I'm going to open up these comments, and I'm going to swipe up with 2 fingers at the top of the screen. Oops.
Swipe with 2 fingers, top of the screen.
Swipe with 2 fingers, top of the screen. Let me turn the volume up.
He's still wearing the little girl's bracelet.
And
Loudly
it'll
crying
also
face. Blue heart.
And it'll
Ceci 96.
read everything.
24. Profile picture. Husco 24 said, don't forget the button. IP data led to this.
So that is
There you go.
how
So that is
Speak Screen
how
works, how it's different from
Speak Screen works, how it's different from Speak Selection.
So these are great accessibility features for the visually impaired. Thank you for watching.